Now to the latest in the war in Ukraine. Another barrage of Russian missiles has laid waste to more Ukrainian communities, killing at least 19 people and injuring more than 100.
Yeah, this as Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky addresses an emergency meeting of G7 leaders. CBS 4's Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
More Russian missiles smashed into multiple Ukrainian cities and towns Tuesday, demolishing homes and critical energy infrastructure. This woman was rescued from her home in Sloviansk, her neighborhood destroyed by an anti-aircraft missile unleashed by the Russians on a civilian-populated area. In Kyiv, residents scrambled to bomb shelters and subways to avoid the continued bombardment. They sang Ukrainian folk songs and the national anthem in defiance. The continued onslaught is the largest Russian attack on Ukraine since the early days of the nearly 8-month-long war.
Putin felt like he had to do something.
Former U.S. National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster was on CBS Mornings explaining why Russia has returned to launching missiles on civilians. He says Ukraine's counteroffensive wiped out Russian weapons depots within Ukraine, and this weekend's bombing of a Russian bridge weakened a main route to replenish supplies.
The Russians are in a really tough spot. This is about an 850-kilometer-long active front. You can't be strong everywhere.
The White House says President Biden spoke by phone to President Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday, pledging to provide continued defense support for Ukraine, including advanced air defense systems.
President Zelensky also addressed G7 leaders Tuesday during a virtual meeting. Russian officials say continued assistance from the U.S. will only extend the war and make it more painful for Ukraine. Russia's foreign minister says it's open to peace talks with the U.S. He added that Russia will use nuclear weapons only as a defense. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is traveling to Brussels to meet with NATO leaders and help coordinate military aid to Ukraine.